24 hours a day. Eyewitness News. In touch, in tune, and independent.
So that beautiful building behind me is the City Hall, not quite Parliament, after 2 years, and we've got the State of the Nation address tonight. John Steenhuisen. It's not appropriate, is it, that we're still in there?
No, I don't think it's appropriate. We need a Parliament. Parliament needs a home, and our home is up the street. It doesn't ever feel like we really are sitting as Parliament when we're in the City Hall. And I think it's a crying shame that we're sitting so far down the line without a permanent seat for Parliament.
So we've heard that the go-ahead has been given for the money to be released to get it done, and you've issued a letter of demand. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, we've sat here now over a year. The Parliament's building's been in rack and ruin. And it's very difficult now for us as a Parliament to sit. You don't even have rooms where parties can caucus. So I'm very glad Parliament is going to get moving, but we want a concrete set of time frames, and we want to know when we will be back to sitting as a normal Parliament. Many countries around the world have gone back to full sittings. Even during the latter part of the COVID period, we're still operating on the virtual system, which locks out people from participating and seeing how their Parliament operates.
Yeah, it stops business being done and bills being passed.
Yes, exactly. And there's a constitutional requirement for Parliament to conduct its business in open, so that there's no secrecy involved. If you don't have data or the login details for the Zoom meetings, you can't see what's happening in the committees on Parliament, and that's wrong.
But alas, here we are. State of the Nation address this evening. What are your expectations? What do you want to hear? What should we be hearing?
Well, what we should be hearing is a very clear, comprehensive plan about how the President's going to get the politicians and government out of the way in solving the energy crisis and harnessing international experts in the private sector. We should be hearing about a comprehensive economic recovery and stimulus plan where we're going to cut all the red tape that's holding business back, relaxing the labour legislation so that we can encourage employment in the country, hearing how we're going to be able to provide and make sure we can continue to pay for the social grants that are there given the precarious state of South Africans' balance sheet, and how we're going to keep people safe in their homes. The President's promises last year around combating GBV, about combating serious crime, all those metrics and all of those areas are moving in the wrong direction.
What makes you think he'll be able to do it now? Everyone says, great, he's got support in the top 7, but really we've got same faces, same deal, same competency.
Yes, of course, and all we've seen is President Ramaphosa stack 5 failed years on top of the 9 failed, wasted years of his predecessor that he spoke about. We've had no significant reform in South Africa in the time that he's been president. The electricity and energy situation has got worse, not better. Crime has got worse, not better. Our education output has got worse, not better. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Our ports aren't working. Our railways are being stolen track by track. And all of that economic infrastructure that's required is not being done. The reform agenda that swept the President with much fanfare and public support has completely ended. There's no more of the Ramaphoria and goodwill. That Ramaphoria has given way to the Rama reality that we have a President who's still in charge of a party incapable of affecting change in South Africa.
And yet we have this 8 million plus event happening here in Cape Town with the red carpet. Is that still appropriate?
No,
Watching
it's not appropriate.
Politicians show off in their finest gear?
No, it's not appropriate. This isn't the Oscars or the Grammys. It shouldn't be about the fashion at all, and we're making a very clear statement this year that we're not participating in the glitz and glamour. It's inappropriate given the fact that 42% people are unemployed, 30 million people are trapped in poverty, and many people won't be able to even watch tonight because their lights won't be on. That is not something that we should be celebrating. This should be a low-key business meeting where we get down to the business of fixing South Africa. This pomp and ceremony doesn't put a single job in a single home. It doesn't put food on anyone's table.
If you don't hear what you want to hear tonight, what are your options? What are you going to do next? What do you suggest?
Well, we'll be responding to the debate. I've already delivered the alternative SONA, and it's very clear history's passed Cyril Ramaphosa by. The promises that he's made are no longer believable. No matter what he says here tonight, it's going to be shot through full of a credibility crisis. Many of the things we were promised last year, the social compact within 100 days, have still not been delivered. So I'm really not expecting much this evening. And even if there are going to be announcements about bullet trains and smart cities, the reality is nobody believes it anymore. We just don't buy it.
All right, I'm going to let you get out of the heat. Thank you very much
for
that, John.